Hey, how you doing, Tyler?
Do you have Chief LaRoche's on?
I'm sorry, what?
Is Chief LaRoche?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. It is 5:30. We'll go ahead and get the license and franchise meeting started for July 10th. We'll go ahead and do a roll call, and Alderman Jones has a sign-in sheet. So, I'm sorry. Those are second.
Oh, there's something. Oh.
Alderman Prude,
Here.
Alderman Tully,
Here.
Alderman Barron,
Here.
Alderman Jones,
Present.
Alderman Navarez,
Here.
Alderman Marzak,
Present.
Hey, I'm in a committee meeting. Text me.
and myself, Alderwoman Johnson. So we have a quorum. We also have Chief LaRoche here as well. And do we have anyone for public comments? I'm going to go with a no on that. In front of you are the minutes from our last meeting. They were emailed earlier today as well. If you want to take a little bit to read over them.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have a first from Alderman Marzak, a second from Alderman Navarez. We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. So Alderman Prude,
Aye.
Alderman Tully,
Aye.
Alderman Barron,
Aye.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Alderman Navarez,
Aye.
Alderman Marzak,
Aye.
and myself, Alderwoman Johnson. I'm an aye. Okay. Our next is our utility reports. I think it's on the last page of your stack. You may have received it via email or seen it floating around as well. These are all the details that I have, but I just wanted to make you aware that Aqua has started a program for our residents as well, a customer assistance program, and the income levels are listed there. There's phone numbers and a website and a QR code that we can share with our residents if anyone is interested in it. Is anyone, yeah.
Although I think ComEd has something similar.
Right.
They just started a program that
Okay.
they give up to $500 for assistance.
You know, I did see that on Facebook. I haven't received any information yet, but once I do, or when I can reach out, so thank you. That is the only utility update or information I have. So under old business, we still have our single-serve alcohol boundaries. Is there any updates or any new items we'd like to discuss under that? Okay.
We can keep it on the agenda.
Yep. Okay, so that's all for our old business. Our new business, is Mr. Patel here by chance? No. Are you guys here for a restaurant? Okay, it'll be just a few minutes. So we did, our first item under new business, Mr. Patel has requested a transfer of a liquor license number 70. He is purchasing the landing zone, which is also known as the hangar, and it's located in conjunction, either inside or very close to the Economy Lodge on South Route 4552 in the 4th Ward. I don't believe he is here. There are 2 sheets with a list of addresses. We can discuss it. There has been a number of calls or incidents at the property under the current owner. I did reach out to DC Austin. He gave us this information. So in the last, since March, I think there's been 9 calls out to the business, and then within the last year, there's been 20 calls. So there is some concern. He currently doesn't live in the city, so he either will have to move to the city or the manager will have to be a resident of Kankakee as well. So I know Alderman Mars, I did talk to Alderwoman,
Chairman, or Chairwoman?
Yes.
Due to potential conflict of interest, I'm just going to step out of the conversation.
I did talk to Alderwoman Swanson. She is okay with it, as long as he does follow the rules and meets all the guidelines. So he'd still have to pass the background test, or background information, and also, like I said, either move to the city or have a manager within the city limits. So I don't know if anyone would like to take action on that tonight.
Is this the one that's in the hotel?
This is, it's got to be in it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's in the one.
And they've
And,
They've been looking for a live-in clerk for some time, or at least the old management was.
Yeah.
And that's the manager.
I don't know if the manager can do both, the hotel and the bar. I don't know how that works, so.
so this is going to be the new, what happened to the old owner? What's happening with him?
I don't have those details. I don't know. I know as I drive by, there's a lot of work taking place at the hotel. It looks like they've, like, maybe did some updating to rooms and things like that, just because I noticed things out on the balcony. It looks like either the whole parking lot or part of the parking lot has been refinished. Some other things as well, but I don't have those details.
Do they have any, I mean, you might not know, but do they have any new security measures that have put in place, or a camera system that's?
I don't have those. I was hoping he would be here this evening to answer those questions, so.
Were they invited to come to this meeting?
I believe so.
advised to?
He spoke with David, or the mayor's office, so I believe he was,
Okay.
so,
He didn't send the representative, nobody.
no.
Chair, any conditions were put on to this transfer at this moment?
Not that well, besides the manager living in the city of Kankakee and making sure he meets all the background qualifications from the state.
Have you met him?
I have not.
So I think I heard Alderman Barron mention anything about security cameras. I think this is the route that we want to go with all these new businesses. Make sure that there's security cameras to ensure the safety of the
Yes.
surrounding constituents.
So, we don't have to take action. It's up to the committee how you guys would like to handle that.
Say we give them another chance to
Okay.
attend.
We
Very
can,
good.
I'd say we give them another chance to attend.
Yep. Yep.
okay,
I would concur with that.
okay. We can leave that on for our next meeting then. Okay. And then our next one is for a gaming cafe at 634 North Entrance. And would you like to come up? So just a little bit of background, we have one gaming cafe permit left. We capped it at 6. We currently have 5, and this would be our last one. So I know it's Rose Dowdy. This is her son. He's going to kind of review the business plan with us. Alderman Prude, Alderwoman Malone.
Yes, we have already discussed it. I mean, we are perfectly fine with the gaming, going there. So
Okay. I know,
we talked to Ms. Dotson, so, I mean, yeah.
okay.
We talked to her, I mean Dowdy, excuse me, and we're fine with it.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm sorry. There is, I believe she would be a renter of the building. So we still have to have the landlord's approval from the landlord to okay it. So I think as of earlier this week, we were still waiting for that.
Okay, so the landlord did approve it, she is okay with it, she knows exactly what's going on
Okay.
with it, so, I don't know, what would you need, like a letter, like a?
Yeah, she just needs to present the information to I think our city planner, Melissa King, and then to the mayor's office.
Okay.
Yep. So, would we like him to go over the business plan first, or do you want to?
Well, I just want to mention that, are you aware that there's already a gaming cafe not too far away from where you're planning to establish yours? There's one in Meadville.
I think she is aware of that, but it was kind of hard of finding a building that, the location that would allow gaming. And so this was like one of the only other locations, so she's gonna, try her luck with it. She seems like it's a good area, a perfect area, high traffic area. And then she's been in the business for a while, so she has like a lot of customers where she work at now that, that knows her and loves her, and they're willing to make that move when she makes that move as far as where they game at. So she has like a nice amount of people that she knows that does it because she's been doing it for about 4 years now. She has people that's going to follow her when she moves to her own location. So, yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that you're aware that there's
Yeah, she is aware of that.
cafe
Yeah.
not too far away from there.
Yeah, she is aware of the one that's in Meadowview, yes.
Okay. Okay. Would you like to review the business?
So she did write a business plan. I don't know much about it. She just sent it to me, and I'm just going to read what she has right here.
That's fine, thank you.
Okay, so she said, Jenny and Els outlines the strategy for launching a gaming cafe, a venue that offers premium gaming and gambling experience in Kankakee. With a unique social and entertaining space for gamers, the cafe will provide a diverse range of gaming options, catering to a wide audience of gamers. Our mission is to create a community-focused and safe environment where gamers can socialize, gamble, and enjoy their favorite games in the most comfortable cafe for adults 21 and older. Our gaming cafe will offer a variety of services, which will provide high-performance slots machines equipped with the latest games. In addition to gaming, Jenny and Nails will offer complimentary snacks, including a variety of chips and cookies and drinks to enhance the customer's gambling experience. The cafe will be located in a high-traffic area to maximize visibility and accessibility. We will conduct market research to understand customers' preferences and tailor our offerings accordingly.
Okay. Are there any questions?
That's pretty much.
I don't know if you know this or not. I did drive by the building. I'm familiar with it. It's been a number of different businesses through the years. Is she planning to do anything with the parking lot or the landlord, do you know?
Yes. So what the landlord was waiting on is for the approval for the gaming. So she didn't want to make all the changes and do everything that needs to be done without it being okayed.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Do you guys present this to the zoning and planning for the building to make sure it's in the proper zoning and or the building is properly safe for that type of business? Because I know they will ask questions about the parking.
Yes.
I don't know if you need to have sprinklers in there because this is going to be public. I don't know. I'm just asking, have you gone through that process yet?
So I don't know if she has. She hasn't broken that down to me. Like I said, I'm just standing in for her. But I know she spoke with someone this morning she had a meeting this morning with someone from the gaming place, and they basically was telling her that anything that she needed to be done, they were willing to make those adjustments for her as far as the building and like windows, whatever she needed to be done in there, they were willing to make that adjustment for her.
So, Alderman Navarez, I know she has been working with Director King on the zoning and things like that for the business, so, yes.
Alderman, will they need to get a conditional use permit?
I believe so, yes.
I think if she either has that or she's in the process, because that's something I've heard her talk about as well.
Yes,
So
so-
I'm sure that's something in the works, or she already has it. I'm not sure, but that's something I did basically hear her speak about once before.
Okay.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's in a zone that works for this type of business already, and she would just need the conditional use permit, and then just the approval for the landlord to have this type of business in the building. And then there could be, I believe there's a state background check and some other things too that would need to be, tied off, but otherwise, as far as I know, it's going through the process.
I think like one of the landlord stipulations was a certain type of insurance that she wanted, and she got the insurance that she wants. So that was really her only issue that she had, was the insurance, and
Okay.
she ended up finding the insurance that she needed for it.
Okay.
Do you have any security plans or measures that you're putting in place for the building?
So how she wants it, this is a conversation we had last night, how she wants it is, she want her door to be a buzz door, because it's gambling going on in there, so she wants her door to be a buzz door, so the clerk has to buzz the person in, who's ever coming in. So the doors will be locked at all times, is what she's hoping that she could do. It was just a thought yesterday when she was thinking about security measures and things like that. Another thing, the lady talked to her today. She said security cameras, she'll put them out front and all within wherever the gaming part is at, but they would be also out at the front door and at the clerk's register if she wanted it there as well.
When you say she, are we speaking of the landlord?
My
or
mother.
the operator?
The operator.
Okay.
The operator is willing to do the necessary construction that needs to be done
Yeah.
in the building.
Yeah.
The landlord is willing to do it as well, but she's only going to do so much. The operator is willing to pick up what the landlord will not do.
Gotcha.
Have you spoken with any of the neighboring businesses, residents that are on that entrance corridor?
I'm not sure if she has or not. I'm not sure. It's
Can I
not a question I've asked her.
Again, we have talked to Ms. Dowdy, all the questions you guys are asking, we basically have asked the same thing, and we're okay with everything going in, what's going in.
Thank you. I appreciate that, but
Yes.
we also have a duty to ask these questions too.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Any other questions or discussions? Okay. Do you want to look for a motion?
So moved
Oh,
Motion for what?
to
to
approve.
approve it so we can move it on to city council.
Oh, I thought it was going to go to zoning and planning first.
No, they're already working with Director King. So it comes to us, if we are in favor of it, then it will go to full city council. There are stipulations. It has to make sure she passes the background check and meets all the criteria with Director King as well.
I think for us to approve something like that, we need to know that those things are taken care of, whether it's documentation or representation, rather than hearsay.
And what things would that
Yeah,
be?
what is being hearsay?
All the things that are, well, she said, they've done this, but we as a committee that needs to approve this, have no documentation or representation that these things are in fact taken care of.
We just said that they're not doing these things until we approve it. Why would they spend their money?
I didn't ask
So
for
what I'm
that,
asking the question is, why would they do some things if it's not approved?
because
Why would
people
they
do
spend
that all
money-
the time.
Why would they spend money on something that if they don't get it approved, they wasted their money?
I'm not asking them to spend any money, Alderman, I'm asking them to have some documentation verifying these things that seem to be outliers.
So what, and my question is, what are the things that you need to be documented?
All the things that we've been talking about here. Do we have the approval from, or is it the right zoning? Do we, this and that and this and that? I'm not asking anybody to spend any money. I want some verification that these things are being addressed.
Alderman Johnson just
The parking
stated,
lot is appropriate for whatever you're looking for, that the cameras are going to be installed. We just need something to know that this is going to happen once we approve it.
Right.
I mean, we don't doubt that you probably won't do it. I mean, I'm just saying, like they're saying, we just want to ensure, he probably knows some things that we don't know. You probably talked to them, but you haven't talked to us, so we don't know.
So I got a problem with this, because we have sat there, told you guys, we done all of that. We sat here and approved anything you guys wanted on the fact that y'all talked to the people and assured that they was gonna get it done. We passed it. We are doing the same thing. We saying that they're gonna get these things done, what they said that they're gonna do. We're fine with that. We are fine with that because we know they're going to get it done. And we approve whatever you guys want because you guys say they're going to get it done. And we're asking for the same consideration of what we want.
We will give you that consideration.
So all you have to do is vote just like we say we okay with it.
This is the first time it's ever come before this committee or even been discussed.
And but we said that we've done the discussion and we know that they're going to get it done. Certain things they will not get done until it's approved.
Again, I'm not asking anybody to spend any money. I just want to know that all the Ts have been crossed and the Is have been dotted.
And we telling you they have.
So,
You are not the,
How much more do you need?
you
I know
are
for sure
not the committee.
She's been feet on the ground, like handling things, getting certain certificates and certifications. Like she's been handling things that she need to handle. So I know that for sure. But like if there was, I'm not, and I know you said what we talked about, you need documentation, but we kind of really did talk about a lot of different things. What are the certain things that really needed to be, if I can get like a list of things or something to bring back to her, because again, I'm just a stand-in. It's my mom's business and it's not my business. So if you could give me something to bring or something.
Well, I guess I would like to know what it is, because really, that's one thing I don't do. I got my tail whipped for being in other wards, so I kind of stay out the way. So, I mean, if it's your thing, I'm gonna ride with you, Alderman. I'm gonna just tell you like that, because I don't cross over too much now. I got in a little fight about that a couple years back. But anyway, let's get to what are we asking here? I'm asking Chairwoman, what are we looking for here? What do we need to make everybody happy to clean this up?
I have noted there was just talking about the parking lot improvements and then
Parking
a
lot.
security plan.
Security plan, parking.
And they mentioned the door buzzer, the cameras inside and out. I have talked to Ms. Dowdy, I have talked to Director King, I have talked to the mayor. She's moving through the steps as she needs to.
Okay.
And you just,
So I think she's doing everything that she needed to. When I talked to Director King yesterday, the only thing that she needed was the landlord's approval.
Landlord approval.
I did not speak to Director King today, but as far as I know, I'm going to take the gentleman's word on it.
And that right now is more information than I've gotten so far in this meeting.
she said that in the beginning.
I beg to differ.
As far as my knowledge, she is going through the proper steps. She has tied off everything that she has been asked to tie off. Even though we say yes, if this committee's going to approve it, if not, whatever we decide, it still goes to full council.
Right.
She still has to go through the state background check. She still has criteria that she has to meet from the state and from the city. So we're not handing a gaming license to her tonight. So there are still a number of items that she will have to finalize and make it through those criteria. So I've talked to her. We have one license left. I'm not opposed to this. I'm not a gambler, but I'm not opposed to this.
Can I say something?
Yes.
So, just to clarify, we're not against it. I'm not against it.
Not at all.
Not at all. We have a license for that location, and we will approve it if it's necessary. All we're asking is information. We're not asking for something, like I said earlier, maybe something that you know, we don't know. All we're asking is questions to make sure that everything's lined up.
And I understand
We
that.
don't have a problem.
Those questions, Alderwoman Johnson spoke that in the beginning, that it's been talked about, all of that stuff. The questions are being asked over again, and then asking, should we approve it on certain things? And all these questions have been answered. So what is the problem of proving it? That's what I got a problem with, because all those questions have been answered.
Alderwoman,
Yes.
I have no doubt that your mother would do, what she's going to say with this. I have no reason to question that at this point. I do have serious reservations just about gaming cafes, generally speaking. I've said this
I do
before.
as well.
I worry about the impact that they have in the neighborhood around there. I worry about using them as economic development, and a bunch of different reasons. That alone is the reason why I think it's important to ask these questions, and especially when it comes to that particular business model, which there's a reason why we put a cap. I personally don't think we need more in the community. But that is why, I want to hear more information and ask these questions. It's not, I have no doubt that you or your mother would do exactly what they're saying here. It's the model itself, the issue.
And the direction that we have been given, or I have been given, is that a gaming cafe, a liquor license comes to us first. If we are comfortable with it, it then moves forward to planning or to Director King, and then they do it. It can stop in planning if we're not comfortable with it, but it starts here. Our part of the process, there is no initial upfront expense. So they get it, if it's approved, goes to city council. If it's approved, it goes to planning, things like that. And those committees or that direction costs money, where ours is free. So the mayor has directed that they come to us first because there's no expense. If we are comfortable with it, then we can move forward. But to go to zoning and to planning and things like that, there is an expense to the business. And if we're not comfortable with a gaming cafe license or a liquor license, then we would end it here before businesses put out the money.
That makes totally sense.
Yes. So, Alderman Pruden?
So move.
Okay.
Second.
Second from Alderman Jones. Okay. We'll take a roll call vote. Alderman Pruden?
Aye.
Alderman Tully?
Aye.
Alderman Barron?
No.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Alderman Navarez?
Aye.
Alderman Marzak? Myself, Alderwoman Johnson, I'm an aye. Okay. So you have the majority. We will move on. We'll pass it forward to the mayor's office.
Thank you, I
And to
appreciate
city
that.
council, and I'm sure Director King has some questions, and they will be reaching out as well.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Our next item, are you folks here for 815 for the restaurant? Okay, would you like to come up and, so our next request is just a transfer for a liquor license Class G, License 119, for the location previously known as 815. It's a transfer for a potential restaurant in that location, is that correct? Yes. Okay. Would you like to give us some information on what your plans are?
So we're doing a bar restaurant, so we're gonna focus mostly on pushing more like food than we are liquor. So it's gonna be a mixture of a bar and a restaurant or a cantina.
Okay. So, do you guys have any questions?
Where's this at?
At 815 Lounge downtown in the First Ward.
The only thing that I have that I would like I would like to have a sit-down discussion with you guys, because me or Alderwoman Marshall was not aware that anybody else was moving in. We brought that up before, that we like to be informed before we bring it to like here, so we can kind of know what's going on, what you guys' plans are, things of that nature. So I like to just have a sit-down discussion with you guys, with me and Alderwoman Marshall. That's the only thing we have.
I don't think I can touch this one, right? It'll be family owned. We both have a really good background in business and food industry.
Sorry, we can't hear you. Can you talk to the microphone? please?
Yeah,
Because
we
we're
both, it's gonna be family owned. We both have a really good background in the food industry. I've been in the food industry for so many years. Right now, I currently work downtown Chicago for the Roosevelt Corporation. I've been with them for the last 6 years. I met Angelica, she's my wife. She's from town, born and raised here. So I think there's a really good chance for us to grow up here. bring our kids and open up a business. I've been talking to Dustin for a few months. This pop-up, it came up as a good investment, a good idea, and it's not going to be just a bar, it's going to be a restaurant, like a cantina style. So we'll bring more food, exciting drinks, so.
I just have a few questions. The kitchen is very small there, from what I understand.
Very small. We don't have to worry about what we have right now. Hopefully, in the future, if everything goes well, the good thing is about the property, there's a way to expand second floor or next door.
Okay. Are you planning any remodeling of the
Not right now. The
location?
only thing we're going to be doing is just painting, change the colors.
Okay.
Really dark in there.
What hours are you looking at being open?
Probably like restaurant hours, 11 to 10, and weekends probably 11 to 11.
And when are you looking to open?
I'm sorry?
When are you looking to open?
If everything goes good, hopefully by the first week of September.
Okay. And Alderman Prude, you don't want to take any action this evening?
Oh, no, I would love to take action on this tonight with the amendment that we have a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I want to have.
Okay. Are there any other questions, Alderman Barron?
Alderman, do you know the parking?
Yeah, that's the
When is that
discussion.
up?
Huh?
When is that, you know, that agreement with the?
That agreement has been we never renewed it, so basically, they don't own the parking lot. But we did give them certain slots. So,
Okay, so now it's just a city lot?
yes, just city lot.
Yeah, we understand the city.
Yeah.
The city.
So I make a motion that we approve it with the contingency of us having a conversation.
You have a date for that, Alderman?
I'll set it up.
Okay, I didn't know if we had to have a date on it, because they're talking about going,
By September, we'll get it. I have to talk with Cherry, see when she's available.
okay.
So I'll get their number and we'll set it up.
Okay, we have a second from Alderman Prude, I'm sorry, a first from Alderman Prude. We're looking for a second.
Second.
Okay, we'll go ahead and vote. Alderman Prude?
Aye.
Alderman Tully?
Aye.
Alderman Barron?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
All right.
Alderman Navarez?
Aye.
Alderman Marzick, myself, and I am an aye as well, so, okay. I will reach out to the mayor's office, and they should be in contact with you, and they'll go ahead, and then if you want to reach out to Alderman Prude and have a conversation regarding your business, so,
Make
okay?
sure you have a conversation with your alderman.
Yep, okay. Thank you.
I'll get your number in 1 minute, okay? All right.
Okay. Move right along. Our next item, Alderman Jones, and we did have a conversation at our last meeting.
Right. Okay.
Amongst the committee, looking just for definitions and a better understanding of our, I don't know that we have the right terms, but shelters, halfway homes, things like that. I did get a paper with some information, and I think our Attorney Landwehr has some as well.
Is your mic on?
I'll talk into it when I...
No, I didn't know if I turned it on. I'm already deaf, so.
I heard that.
Thank you.
Is that sir?
Oh, here's another one.
Okay, so we got another one. All right.
Okay. So, Attorney Landwehr, would you like to jump in, or would you?
Well, I need to know what it is you need to know, because, I mean, this page has a lot of definitions on it, but I don't know if that's going to answer your questions. So I don't know what the issue is with these homes. So maybe if I had a little context, I would know if there's anything I can add.
Okay, here was the deal, and there's a lot of things going on around town, and there was different people was told that they couldn't have a certain house. If you're going to be doing like certain ministry houses, they had to have the fire system and all of that, different things of that nature. Well, you've got other places, it's kind of like doing the same thing, and they are not given them type of rules. And, you know, as I was listening to it, I'm trying to figure out what the difference was, and we didn't really have an understanding of how one group can do this, one group can't do that, and this and that. You know, I always try to be fair about whatever it is. If that's the rules, we'll just make everybody follow it. But what I'm hearing now, a lot of times going around town, we've got way more things or places that are being used for certain things that maybe they don't have the ministry attached to it, but it's the same. And I'm trying to figure out what is the difference, and maybe I'm missing that. And then I was trying to read this here, you know, with the halfway house, and then, because someone is coming to me now about assisted adult living at a house, all right? Not Asbury, what's in my ward, that's different, but there are houses now that's going to be for adults or this group or that group, and different organizations that I believe we all know that are in town that are running certain houses. Some got staff, I get it. Some don't have staff, and, you know, somewhere in between. So I was just trying to, you know, get the understanding of what the difference is, and if so many can live in this house, how many can live in that house? You know what I mean? So that was some of the things I didn't get an understanding of.
Okay, so each of these specific terms has a definition that tells you who can live there, how many people, do they have to have a supervisor, do they have to have a live-in. None of this addresses, though, whether they have to have a sprinkler system, so that becomes like another issue in a different realm. But by knowing the definition of them, you can at least look on the chart that was provided to you by Kelly to know what zoning, or, you know, they have to be in. In other words, some of these are allowed in R1, some are allowed in R2, R3. So you can look at the chart that was in your packet and see what can go where. So that's a start. You know, if there's any kind of a home like this in a residential 1, you want to check residential 1, can that go there?
Right.
Okay, so that's the starter. So, I mean, if we just look at adult, well, we don't really have to go through daycare facility, I think we know what that is.
Right.
But if we go to community residence, so that's kind of a mystery to a lot of us, right? Single dwelling occupied on a relatively permanent basis in a family-like atmosphere by a group of unrelated persons with disabilities. So, I mean, you've got all these requirements. They have to have disabilities. It includes a paid professional support staff provided by a sponsoring agency living with the residents on a 24-hour basis to be present whenever residents are present in the dwelling, and it must fully comply with provisions of the city's community residence ordinance, commonly referred to as a group home. So we have specific definitions for each of these types of homes.
Get it?
So the first thing you have to do is figure out what is going on in that home, and is it okay? If you're trying to figure out, if someone's coming to you and saying, hey, is this okay right here on my street?
I get
And I
it.
know that's the kind of question you're getting, right?
Right.
So you basically have to find out, well, how many people are living there? Does someone live on staff? And I know we had an incident a year ago or so where there were the children, the young people, 18 and up, living somewhere on the west side in a non-group home, in individual apartments, without a live-in person, and that was perfectly okay because it didn't fit any of these definitions. And they were adults, they were renting, and then, you know, one of them caused some trouble, and this brought it up. So I know that was one of the things. So the first thing you have to do is find out what is really going on in a home. Is it a community residence? Is it a halfway house, which, you know, most of the time you do know if those are going on. A rooming house, rooming houses, it's allowed in areas. And then the shelter care facility has a specific definition, but there's the note that the shelter care home has not been defined. So traditionally, a shelter care or shelter care home is for juveniles or for children. But the definition of shelter care home under some ordinances in different places will say it's also for adults. So each thing will have a specific definition. Under our ordinances, we do have these definitions. So if it exists in a form that isn't in our definition, then we might have a problem. I don't know if that helps, but.
No, that's very, very clear, but I guess the big piece of it, and I think Chief will know where I'm going, is that if it's going to be considered something that you got people living there, are they going to eventually have to have a fire thing? That's what I'm asking, Chief. Is that going to have to come into play?
Specific residencies do have to have them, depending on what we're going to classify them as. So shelters are transient in nature for us. They are required to have sprinkler systems. Group homes, more than 16 occupants, they're required to have fire alarm systems and sprinkler systems.
Hold on right there. So group homes with 16 or more has to have it. Gotcha.
Sprinkler system and fire alarm system. Group homes are 5 or more, up to 16, are required to have sprinkler systems. Major renovation, if they are already existent, that I can't go back and make them do it, but if they're a new business, they have, with major renovations or new buildings being built, they have to have sprinkler systems.
Okay, all right, that's the thing. Because I don't know if people are getting around it by just getting an apartment. They get in a 4-unit apartment or something like that, and then they're there, and it could be, I don't know, a couple of beds in this room, it could be 6, 7, 8 people living there.
Yeah,
And now-
that would be, if it's a transient in nature, if it's not a care facility, it's still considered a shelter. Shelters are required to have sprinkler systems with more than 5 occupants.
Even if it's not, if they're not I'm just saying if they're not calling it that, if they're just saying, he has a 4-unit building.
That's considered, residents have been converted into apartment, are considered single occupancy residents. That is different than a shelter.
Okay, because I just want, I want to be clear, because some people, if you got an apartment, I may rent the apartment. If I rent the apartment.
If you have a rental, it's completely different than shelter or a group home.
And how many people can I put in it?
Well, I would,
Based on the
based on
bedrooms.
the size of the apartment, I would guess, determine that. That, again, that would be a code question.
Okay, and because that's why I'm trying to get some understanding of it, because a lot of times people were saying, well, if you have any type of group home or anything like that, you got to have that fire suppression system, and that's a big deal. That's that $40,000, $50,000 deal. You're done. When I say you're done, that's kind of it will set everybody back. Whenever. So that's why some people might go a different way to try to do ministry or way to help somebody if they do this. And how do we, quote unquote, protect yourself from that? I mean, are we going to be aggressive and so try to figure it out? I don't, I'm asking.
So, group homes, is that similar to recovery homes?
So, group homes, our codes kind of differ from what you would read here that our attorney handed out to you. So our code, a halfway house or a group home, they're 2 different defined residents, but they both require the same systems. So a group home or a halfway house with more than 5 residents and that's excluding the care they may be getting, the staff. They are required to have a sprinkler system.
And the reason I'm asking, because recovery homes, they do require a license by the Department of Human Services.
Okay.
That's the recovery room. I have it right here in my, pulled up, in recovery homes. That's why I'm asking the question, if group homes are similar to recovery homes, or is there's because from the definition that I'm reading here, it's pretty much very simple, similar, excuse me.
Now, again, Kankakee, we passed an ordinance a few years back that all new construction and major renovations in these type of facilities do require a sprinkler system and a fire alarm system. So there's two different requirements.
That's what I thought was said. We've talked about it before. I just wanted to hear it because maybe I had misheard it the first time because there's different things going on in organizations right now throughout the city. There's, more people are living possibly, they're not calling it certain things, but it is what it is. And, I'm being vague, but
I think I'm tending to agree with you because I know Alderman Marzak and I have discussed a few homes that they seem to be totally obscure as to what's going on, who's there, if there's staff or just people, and we have no firsthand information on what's happening in these homes. So potentially these houses could be used for some of these things, but it's unknown to the city, to the public.
Well, to that point, a community resident family, that's not more than 8 people plus paid professional support staff. To my knowledge, that would be a business. So under a business, the fire department, is required to go in and do a fire inspection, right?
Correct.
So to my knowledge, I doubt you have been into a certain location that just happens to be on 5th and Hawkins, correct?
I can't answer that question. I don't have that information.
But I mean, there's a facility that has people with disabilities that the training center bus drops them off. They have staff that comes and goes. It's a permitted use, but it's still, I mean, if there's paid staff, now that's an assumption, nobody's doing it for free, but people do volunteer, so that is a possibility. So, but, whether it's that, I mean, it's a commercial operation, no different than any other ice cream shop, any rental, or anything else. So, I mean, there is a loophole here where, you have people in a residence that's being used as a commercial operation that hasn't been inspected. Unless it was inspected when it went up for sale, which I'm sure that, that probably happened. But, that's the type of, places that you're talking about, Alderman Tully.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's my.
I'm assuming that's where your concern lies, something similar. I don't want to
right. No.
make that assumption, but.
No, and I just want everything to be across the board because, people come to me, of course, you hear certain things, and of course, I'm getting ready. I believe if it continues, we're going to have the adult thing. It's going to be, I think, a couple of adults or something, and it's like an assistant living thing, but I was trying to make sure that I was right, that it would be okay, approved, or what have you, in the neighborhood, and I don't want to be saying yes, and then they get to the next level and then they find out, well, you can't have that because the name way, I guess we would consider, okay, what would that be considered,
Well,
so
one thing, if you look at the chart, many of these types of homes require a conditional use permit
Okay.
within certain zones, so that's what the C on the chart means. P is permitted. So if, for instance, you want an assisted living facility in R3, it's permitted. You don't have to get a conditional use permit to do that, but that's just one step. I mean, then you have other steps you have to go through. So what, you were asking about what, an adult home with how many people in it?
I heard just a couple of people.
Just
gonna
a
be there.
couple, well,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a community residence group.
I guess I thought it would be
That's
more.
not less than 9, so that's different. I mean, if people are literally just living 3 or 4 to a house, I mean, that technically is not allowed under a rental situation because when you rent to, you don't rent to unrelated people in a rooming house situation, and call it a residence. So, I mean, each situation, I think, has to be looked at. So I guess what I would ask you is, are other people saying, is this house over here okay? Or are the people running the house saying, is this house okay?
Right, if some people may want a house and,
Then they should go see the planner, and they should, they should talk about what they need to do to make this legal where they are, and then they should follow the rules for the number of people they're going to have in there. Because, that, we don't want a situation where people are in a fire hazard. And these rules are really set up for a lot of reasons. That's one of them. Another one is to make sure that residential areas stay a certain type of residences. So, I think that chart is very helpful, and you can start out with that. But if you don't know the answer to a question, is this okay? The planner knows a lot about, you can send someone directly to me also, and we can look up the rules, but, the question is, are they telling us what's really happening in that house? And if we suspect that we don't have someone legally in the right zoning, so, for instance, they're running a house with 16 people in a zone that's not allowed, we do have the power to do an administrative warrant to inspect a home, either through code or through the fire department.
okay.
Okay? And I know we don't really want to do that kind of thing, but on the other hand, we also don't want people burning up in a fire who should have been checked on. So, I mean, those are some things, some tools that a city has to make sure that our residents, especially disabled ones perhaps, who are living in a group home that isn't registered as a group home, are kept
Right.
safe.
Right, okay. Okay.
Alderman Barron.
Two comments. First, I'm somewhat surprised that conditional residence family
Right.
is a permitted use in all residential zones.
Yeah.
That I found a little bit surprising. Also, that shelter care center and facilities is a permitted zone in industrial, that doesn't require a conditional use permit surprises me. The situation I think that I'm thinking of isn't, at least this is what has been brought to my attention by individuals in the police department, where we've seen some repeat issues, is it's a residence that's owned by a social service entity. Single family, maybe not that many people. I mean, it might be one or two, it might be more. But the residency is part of a treatment program or a reentry program or some sort of service provision, and that some of those situations have caused repeat problems. I think there's one in Prairie Walk that has been a one that's gone, there's been issues a few times there. Would that be a community residence family? Probably not.
Well, how many people are living
Yeah.
there? At least 3 unrelated adults is an assisted living facility. And an assisted living facility is permitted in R3, conditional in C2 and C3. So, yes, an assisted living facility probably will not be a violation in R3, but it's not apparently allowed at all in R1 or R2, even as conditional. I mean, I think that's what the blank means. I think this chart was probably done by Mike. I think this is relatively recent, but, so when it's blank, I'm assuming R1 and R2 cannot be okayed, no matter how you look at it. So it's permitted in R3.
That's age 55 and older, right? I don't think.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, this 80% must be age 55 and older, so you can't, with 3, that doesn't work, but, so basically you have to find what it fits into, and then there might be whatever they define it as, like a halfway house, does not have a number on it, but it has to have a specific definition. They get counseling, they receive therapy, there's always a staff present. And, you know, I mean, I think we all know what staff means, but what does it really mean legally to prove that someone is staff? Are they paid by an outside agency? Are they running this house themselves and calling theirself a staff? You know, I mean, all of these definitions have questions with them, but at least it's a place to start and to get some idea what might be going on in the house in terms of care, and is it allowed in that zoning? Because if it's not, that's a non-starter until they take some action to see if they can get a conditional use permit.
Alderman Merritt, so if I understand, you're saying, I don't know what the Cornerstone or someone owns a house in a residential neighborhood that they're housing their customers, their clients? Is that, okay. And it may or may not be permitted depending on how many people are living there.
The number of people is key.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
point that you make the determination of what, how you define it. That's where you have to find out, going to these homes, how many people you have, whether it's 1, 3, or 5. These Cornerstone homes, or the other homes that are in the residential neighborhoods, typically have 1 to 3. I haven't seen 5, except for maybe in some of the other newer subdivisions. Over here on Navajo Court, there's one, I believe, that you mentioned already.
How many homes do they own, do you know?
Well, the companies, there's a couple different companies. I wouldn't even try to guess how many they have in the city. You know, but again, it doesn't come down to how many homes they have, it's how many people do they have in these homes.
I know, like, Lasam Ministries in the past had space, I think, over at the church, and I don't think they do any longer. I did see a sign the other day for them. Do they fit under a rooming house? Or do we know what their model is?
I don't know, I think I saw something advertised again too with, I mean, I don't know what the preparation for that was, but, I mean, the rooming house is an interesting concept. On the chart, it's rooming, boarding, and lodging houses. We don't, I mean, there's really no provision for a rental license for that, yet we have it listed as allowed with a conditional use permit in all zones. Sometimes there doesn't seem to be a lot of rhyme or reason to this, Dave, as you pointed out, you know, like why is a rooming house allowed everywhere, including R1?
Right.
And there's no limit on the number of people who can stay in a rooming house, but it does not include a community residence, halfway house, or nursing home. So, you know, that's the old concept of a house that's divided by bedrooms, and if there are 10 bedrooms, you have 10 people in it. Well, you know, most houses aren't that big, but, you know, we do have people who try to do this a lot, and it should be a conditional use permit. It's not, you know, it's not just allowed, it's allowed with a conditional use.
But, Chief, you just said on that, it's like 16 or more. Is that what we just said about that room and boarding? If it's 16 or more people or something, I just jotted that down in there. We were talking about on them boarding houses or what have you, to make sure whatever it is. But now, yeah, I see that. That's in every, I guess they can be in everywhere. They can be in every
So I talked about the group homes and
group home and shelter, right. Is that the same type of, it's a difference in a rooming house and a shelter? Or?
Yeah, some of them are. Yeah, there's how that's defined. Your rooming house as
If it's got like 6 bedrooms,
yeah.
that's a rooming house. But it cannot be used as a ministry house, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
See why not?
What's I mean, when you say ministry house, what do you mean?
Because if, let's just say, if the son says, hey, you know, I want to house 4 guys, 5 guys, I'm just shooting them out. But if you housing 5 guys, you've got to get a whatever permit. Then because there's that for ministry, now you have to have the, you know, the smoke, I keep saying, you know, the fire system put in or what. That's where the problem was coming in because, and I can go back to, you know, 164 South Greenwood. I think the most that was in that particular house, if we're talking about it, was 8 guys, maybe 10 at the most. It wasn't, I don't even know if it was that many, 8 guys. But now it's because, like, if it's going to be redid again, chief, you know, you say, hey, it can't be guys there again. Now, the weird thing about it, if that house is sold as a residential, and thank God for my, you know, my mother and her family, they had, she gonna kill me. They had 19 kids. So, you know, if you got 19 children or 10 children living in a house, what do you do?
Well, those.
Those are all related.
They're all related, but like you say, if it's non-related, you know, if we're talking about safety, safety is safety. You can dress it up how you want. If you got 10 related, 10 non-related, they're the same, to me. I mean.
It's really, I mean, it's a concept of, this is your family, you live in your own house that you, we assume, own.
Okay, right.
And you have certain rights that people running a house for other people don't have.
Okay.
So there's sort of an assumption, this is your family, you're going to do what it takes to keep them safe. But when you're running a facility for 16 unrelated individuals, the same level of care is not there. So I think that's where the societal okay of the family comes in. Yes, it's the same number of people under the same roof, but there's a difference in how that relationship goes on, in theory. So I think that's why there's a difference here. And, you know, a lot of the differences here on the definitions also have to do with disability. Like, if a lot of these, you have to have some form of disability in all of your residents to run this home. Halfway house, I'm sorry, the rooming house is different. And, I mean, even the community residence family requires disabilities. The group requires disabilities. So, you know, you really have to read these definitions and kind of memorize them if you want to know what's going on and what's okay and isn't.
Gotcha.
And then you have to look at the chart and see, okay, now I know what's going on in this house. Is it allowed in my residential zone 1?
Right.
And if not, you know, then that is a violation of code and they need to get cited on that.
I got you. Okay, because I'm just, like I said, I'm throwing it out there because, you know, questions will come to you. I'm just letting you know, it may not come to me, it might show back up at y'all desk, so I just want y'all to know.
Yeah, well, so when you look at religious institutions, churches, temples, and synagogues, I mean, that I assume is not a housing, but that's the actual, the church, temple, or synagogue.
Right.
I mean, that's what that looks like to me. Then religious institution, convents, and monasteries, well, those are all permitted, and that is a housing unit. So, you know, but then related facilities and uses, I still don't think that's intended to be, you know, 100 people living in one place.
Right,
So those 3 things, although this is a chart showing where they're allowed, is not a chart saying you can live there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I get it,
So you can't say because we're a religious organization, we're allowed to have a rooming house. You still have.
Right, no, and I get it, because we talked about even when we was dealing with, when, I think it was a few years ago, when it was hot or whether it was cold, and the churches, you know, everybody will always, you know, say, well, why, these churches don't make no sense. They don't let nobody come in. Well, the reality is we can't. I mean, it is what it is. You can come in and be a cooling center and sit down for a while, but you cannot stay overnight. And, you know, but the community didn't understand that, you know, because they were like, y'all have buildings, you know, in Hopkins, we do it a little different, you know, somewhat. But it was told, no, you cannot do that. In the city, of course, because I remember, I don't know if y'all remember when Katrina went down, and when Pastor Osteen and how they opened up their church, and it became what it became, but the church was not designed for that. And then there was so much going on, bathrooms overran and all of that, because the church was not designed for that. And some people were mad because, well, he got, and I guess the second time whatever happened, it couldn't be opened up, and now everybody's mad because these buildings got to be used to help people. Well, that's where the fire department has to come in and explain, no, they're not doing nothing wrong, they're not hurting the community. We don't allow it based upon safety precautions, because, just some people don't know. Now, when it's hot like now, some churches do open their doors, say, hey, you can come in and eat and, sit around, but overnight stay is not allowed. That's, am I right, Chief? And I think that some people just need, it's not allowed. You can come in, cool off, and, winter time, if it's real cold, heat up, but you just can't make beds and pallets all over the floor in the church, and sometimes people don't know that,
To Alderman Barron's point, I do recall Mike Hoffman coming up with the definition, we wanted definitions for shelter care facilities, and I don't ever recall that we had a permitted use in any zoning. I do know Bradley allowed it in their industrial, which may be, I-1 and I-2.
No, but as a conditional use.
What's that, as a conditional use? We've had discussions in another committee, I don't know where Alderman Prude went, but this would be a good discussion for him because, he's dealing with the shelter right now. And whether or not he was aware of what was going on, but there was a discussion that they weren't, in favor of that until they do a day shelter to see how that went within that ward. And so, I'm looking at, this permitted use in I-1 and I-2, and the only thing that I could come up with is we do have a domestic violence facility that is in an industrial area. Could that have just got slipped in there? I don't understand. I think I need clarification how that became a permitted use. Because, we went down this path over and over on the shelters, and, the mayor pointed out how many shelters we had the other night, and, we have other facilities that are other people looking at putting facilities here. So I think we really need clarification whether that's a permitted use or not. I don't recall that ever being a topic of discussion, and we had that in ordinance, unless this was established way before we were here.
You're talking about the domestic violence shelter?
Well, no, that's an established shelter, but I'm talking about, that's the only thing that I could, because if you look under there, it says shelter care center and facilities, and it has domestic violence, homeless, et cetera. So the only thing that I could go for as a stretch would be the domestic violence being in an industrial area. That's how that got there, not to mention it.
Sometimes maybe we didn't want it to be.
But make it a conditional use.
Huh?
It's still conditional.
It's just still a conditional use.
Why not go through the zoning review for some of these sensitive issues?
Would you like to bring that up in ordinance?
I think it needs to get addressed, at least if we could get a clarification before next ordinance, which is coming up, I could put it on the agenda for discussion, but I think that's a very important topic, and I don't know how it became a permitted use without, any discussion, so.
Okay. I think ordinance may be a better committee to research that, so, okay. Do we have any other questions for Attorney Landwehr or Chief LaRoche?
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, both of you. We appreciate it. It's a lot of information to take in and digest a little bit. So, we have no need for an executive session. Are there any Alderman comments or concerns?
So move.
Well, it's 6:39. We have a motion to adjourn from Alderman Navarez. And a second from Alderman Marzak. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?